The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Ladies and gentlemen, this broadcast is made possible by the Spreely Network. It is the network, Spreely, for free thought and free people. I want you to go to your app store and download their Freedom Hub. Do it today, ladies and gentlemen. It's much too important. We depend on you. Freedom is waiting. The Freedom Hub from Spreely. Believe it. For the Republic. Cheers. Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Thank you very much. My goodness, Trump, will he be arrested or not? Remains to be seen. Today, the banking crisis. What happened? What's really going on? Why the purposeful chaos? How does this all work? What's the role of the Fed, the Reserve Bank, and so forth? Why did Silicon Valley Bank crash? And what about Signature Bank? Nobody's talking about that. It crashed. And where does crypto tie into all of this? Because the government is coming after crypto to get rid of it. The chaos is on purpose. Believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Today on the program, that along with a little bit about President Trump. The Right Side with Doug Billings is now upon you. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey everybody, my name is General Mike Flynn, and I'm here to do a big shout out for my great friend and one of the best in the business, Mr. Doug Billings. Right Side with Doug Billings, Right Side with Doug Billings. Doug is the future of the airwaves when it comes to independent broadcasters and podcasters. He is the new Rush Limbaugh. He's exactly what America needs right now, looking for honesty, looking for wisdom, looking for truth, looking for patriotism. Listen to Doug Billings at Right Side with Doug Billings. God bless you and God bless America, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are winning. We're winning, winning, winning. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Are you ready?
We are not liberal snowflakes who melt away in the face of tragedy, adversity, and challenge. We are a covenant nation under God, and His divine providence is not dead and it's not gone. It is living within each and every one of you. And you will bring it to life in such a way that the world has never seen before. We never back down. We never give up. We march forward.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Thanks for watching us from around the planet. I appreciate you. I'm right here with you every day, doing what I've been called by God to do, to restore the American Republic to the divine providence of God and to we the people, and to alert all of you that that's what we're all called to do. We do it every day here. And to start off, I want to make sure that you're aware of DougBillings.us. First of all, head over there. We offer everything that we've ever done with regards to this show. You can either watch the show, the videos, or you can listen to the audio podcast free of charge, but head over to DougBillings.us. We do ask that you voluntarily support us. Hit that support button over there, DougBillings.us, and subscribe to the program. You can choose whatever amount, but we understand that the most popular choices are the $10 a month or the $120 for a year package. But do what you can do. Help us to get the message out there. We are countdown has begun for this Trump arrest, if it really actually happens. I'm not sure that it will. We're going to do a show on that later in the day today for broadcast on Tuesday. We're going to learn more about that today. I want to talk about the banking crisis and try to alleviate and explain a lot about what's going on with that. We have been able to look at this thing. It's not as clear as it may seem, and there's some news that's not being reported about it. Above all else, don't panic. Don't go make a run on the bank, but you should look into gold and silver. Everybody's talking about it. I know. And we are too. And we're recommending people head over. We've got a site all set up. It's right on the website, DougBillings.us. You want to go to RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. There's no pressure, folks. And you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be wealthy to do this, to begin to protect your cash. Because as I'm going to explain in today's program, they're coming after our cash. And you folks that are heavily involved in the crypto, they're shutting you down as well. I'll explain all of this. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. It'll give you all the information you need over there. There's also a way to start a business helping other people to invest in gold and silver. So if you're tired of corporate America, there are people following this program and making $7,000 a week doing this. So just head over there, get the information. There's no pressure. There's no intent to make you buy anything, just giving you information. So the banking crisis, there was people out there saying, well, this is the big one. This is what's happening. They're going to finally shut off all of our cash. They're not going to do that yet, folks. This is not the big one. They're probably preparing for that, but this is not the big one. You've heard of, I'm sure, central bank digital currency, CBDC, not to be confused with ACDC if you're from Raytown, Missouri. CBDC, the central bank digital currency, is where they're going. This is where the Commusocialist Party wants us to go. They're working in conjunction with the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab and his demonic demons and people that are working to subjugate and surrender American liberty and freedoms to a outside organization, the New World Order, the World Economic Forum, so forth and so on. So what we have is that we have a woke management team in California who invested in ESG funds and woke agenda organizations, funds that didn't recoup and grow as well as traditional investment funds. The whole LGBTQ kook community, their initiatives, their politics, their platforms, etc. This bank out there, the SVB Bank, the Silicon Valley Bank, again, they invested in all of this and they did not do well. And so there was a run on their money. Their customers wanted their money. And we've got a situation out there that is not indicative of every bank in the country right now, but it's a situation that illustrates where a lot of banks could be if they're not careful. So last week, 4 of the largest banks in America lost a combined $52 billion. 4 of the largest banks in America, folks, they lost $52 billion. JP Morgan Chase, they lost $22 billion. Bank of America, they lost $16 million. You got Wells Fargo, minus $10 billion right there. Citigroup, $4 billion. Poof, gone. And then you've got a bank called Signature Bank, which I'm going to talk about later. But they failed right after the SVB Bank did. But they claimed that they were taken over, and they're doing fine now. We were just taken over. Other financial institutions out there that you need to be aware of that the mainstream media is not reporting. There's a financial institution called First Republic. They lost 60% in bank stocks because once these banks began to crash, bank stocks were doing a complete free fall. Pacific Western Bank, 45% of their bank value lost. Western Alliance lost 47%. Zions Bank lost 26%. Key Bank lost 27%. Charles Schwab, they lost 11%. And Bank of America lost 6% of their overall value. So now the question of the week is Silicon Valley Bank a one-off event, or are there signs and symptoms of a percolating and growing risk and catastrophe to more banks? So I'm going to briefly walk you through the system of how money is injected into our society. First, we have the Federal Reserve Bank. The Federal Reserve Bank is not a government organization. Many people don't know that. It's a private entity. The Fed prints money and it loans money to banks, usually at 0% interest. The banks, well, they loan money to people like you and me and to businesses for a certain amount of interest. Now, when banking crises happen, it's typical for people to hold on to their money. And it's understandably so that they do that because they're nervous. And it creates what we call a liquidity problem, a shortage of cash if you're from Raytown, Missouri. So the Fed prints more money because they want to quell the collapse of banks, and they call that quantitative erasing. Yes, we're going to quantitatively erase the panic and the fear. And they don't charge interest when they do this because they want us to go out and buy stuff. That's why over the last few years, during the COVID crisis and so forth, banks weren't charging interest, or if they did, it's very low. and they wanted us to get out and spend money and inject that back into the economy. And now they've gotten to the point where there's more money out there. They have printed more money that's out there in circulation than any time in the history of Earth. This is not good. SVB, like all banks, benefit from this massive push out of money. They all do. In 2018, just a few years ago, Silicon Valley Bank had $49 billion in deposits. And by 2021, $190 billion. They were living large, folks. They were in great shape. And it begs the question, what do you do with all that money? Or what did they do with all of that money? Well, as it turns out, banks are a little bit like you and me when we have extra money. Some banks put a little bit back in the bank. They put it in the bank to keep it nice and safe. Or some of us, when we have extra money, we buy stuff. Maybe we buy a house or a car. We buy stocks, perhaps. Maybe we invest in gold and silver, which is what you should do. It's God's money. It's stable. When inflation and interest rates go up, your cash value goes down, but gold and silver are immune to that and their value goes up. Again, RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. I drone on and on about that because I care about you. You've got to get out there and do it. Banks buy treasury bills. Maybe you buy treasury bills too when you have extra money. It's basically lending money back to the government, and they claim that's safe. It's not that safe. And in the case of Silicon Valley Bank, they took their money and put most of it into treasury bills, 10-year treasury bills. Now, on a side note, the Fed prints massive amounts of money. We get inflation, and therefore we can't afford food and heating and clothes, etc. That's what happens when they print money. Inflation goes up. So we stop spending. And then the Fed does what it always does. It prints more money, causing more inflation. Inflation equals too much money and too few products. That's the simple definition. All right, I'm up against a break already, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to pick right up on this, the Fed and their money and how they print it. Don't forget, DougBillings.us. Please head over there, subscribe to the program, click on the support tab, and voluntarily subscribe. We never charge to watch the show or to listen to it, but we do ask that you voluntarily subscribe at DougBillings.us. I'll be right back. Enjoy your trip here into capitalism. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, The Right Side. I'm Doug Billings, talking about the right side of health. Becoming the best version of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, is important. You see this device over here? It's a little water, hydrogen water, ladies and gentlemen, hydrogen-infused water. The health benefits of this are incredible and well documented. I want you to go to holyhydrogen.com. Look this machine up. Use the promo code Doug to get $100 off. They have a payment plan. They have a top tier 1 customer service center. You're going to want to take advantage of this and learn all about it. It takes care of the swelling in your gut. It clears up mind fog. Listen, cancer, glaucoma, the results of the jab, all of these things have been documented to show increased benefits by virtue of infused water with hydrogen. Holyhydrogen.com, ladies and gentlemen. Promo code Doug. Believe it for the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
I want to tell you about the good people over at EMP Shield, electromagnetic pulse. Electromagnetic pulse, ladies and gentlemen. It can fry your home electrical system or your vehicle's electrical system. But if you attach one of these, now this is for your breaker box at home. There's a smaller version that goes on your battery of your car, your vehicle, that will prevent it from being fried in the event of an electromagnetic pulse. Because as you know, thanks to Administrator Biden, many people coming across the border now who don't exactly have the best of intentions. Protect yourself. EMPshield.com. Get huge discounts over there if you use the promo code Doug.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Right Side with Doug Billings, where I'm fulfilling the meaning of life by entering into your life to make differences for the better. And you you also enter into my life, and you're making differences for the better also, especially those of you who are heading over to DougBillings.us and voluntarily subscribing to the program over there. DougBillings.us, up at the top of the website, you'll see a support tab. Please click on it and support us. That's how we make a living. That's how we produce the show, take care of all of that. We never charge to watch the show. That's how we do it. So please, DougBillings.us, click on that support tab over there and do what you can. So the Fed is continually printing money. We have more money in circulation now than at any time in our history. When they print more money, it causes more inflation. Again, as I said, as we ended up the last block, too much inflation, too much money rather, means too few products, because when inflation strikes, we don't spend money. We can't afford it. It's too expensive, inflation. So the Fed then raises interest rates, and we pay the interest, which goes back to the banks. The banks then pay their interest rates on the money they've borrowed back to the Fed. Now, when money comes back to the Fed, they're supposed to put it in the burner. Literally, they're supposed to put the money that comes back into the Fed after being used into the crematorium. It's a serious point. That's how they remove too much money from the market, used up money, or at least that's how it's supposed to be happening. When interest rates are too high, people don't buy stuff. Then the factories begin to shut down. This causes layoffs and loss of jobs. It's kind of like a dance. It's a very complex mathematical dance. And we're supposed to just trust the government and to fix it all and correct all of these decisions and these issues regarding money. But who among us really does trust the government? It's never been advised, even since the foundation of our republic, to trust the government. Limited government is what the founding fathers wanted. There's a reason for that. In November of 2021, J.P. Morgan Chase said that SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, had $16 billion in what they called unrealized losses. Okay, what are unrealized losses? Well, in simple terms, let's use the example of you selling your house. You may lose money on your house if you sell it. But if you don't have to really sell it right now, you can wait until the market adjusts so that you can make money. Okay, but if you have to sell your house right now and there's no getting around it, depending on what the market is, you'll lose money. That's what's called an unrealized loss, or similar to that. You have something of value, but you're going to lose money on it if you sell it. $16 billion in unrealized losses of what Silicon Valley Bank had, according to J.P. Morgan Chase, and that would absolutely devastate anybody. So they had people pulling out of their money out of the bank, and they began then, the bank did, to sell what they had. Remember, when they had money, they bought all of these things, and they bought a lot of T-bills, the 10-year T-bills. They bought a lot of them. When people began to get freaked out and take out their money, the bank was short of money. They had unrealized losses, so they had to sell what they had, these 10-year T-bills, and they sold them at a loss. But they also had invested in woke agendas and woke funds and so forth. The LGBTQ community had gotten to them, and they didn't use any common sense. They invested in things that weren't a good return on their money, and they got in trouble. So bad management. Let's just sum it up by saying that. Administrator Biden's out there saying, don't worry, stop postponing sales. Banks are in great shape. I remember a time when I went with my dad to Delaware, the banks were, whenever he starts rambling like that and talking about his dad in Delaware, you know he's lying. Boy, in Scranton, I was at my dad in banks. When we walked into the bank smelled funny. Did you ever notice that? What? Yeah, he's out there saying banks are fine, rambling on and on. That's not true. That's a tell. When he begins to say stuff like that, he's lying. Biden said that the FDIC will pay everybody who lost money in this catastrophe. Everybody? Really? Really, Joe? Any amount? You're going to pay them that? But the FDIC, when you look into it, only has half of the cash that's needed to cover this $264 billion loss. And that's only for 2 banks, folks. So only half of the banking customers would get any money, would get their money back. What about the other half? What do? The answer, well, the Fed will just print more money. And we, Mr. and Mrs. Taxpayer in this country, are on the hook for that. So when Administrator Biden and members of his Commusocialist Party tell us that the American people are not going to have to bail out these banks, they're lying. Lying. Last week, before the banks collapsed, the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said that interest rates are, quote, likely going to be higher than previously anticipated, end quote. Remember, folks, they raise interest rates because it controls inflation. But high interest rates means we're paying more for stuff. Not a good situation. And so what will that do? It will cause banks to continue to pile up and accumulate those unrealized losses. And this, my friends, is why I've been continually begging you to look into getting into gold and silver. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. Go there and get information. There's no pressure. You don't need to be wealthy in order to do any of that. Go to RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. Because when interest rates and inflation go up, the value of your cash goes down, but the value of gold and silver remains constant and goes up. For yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, for your family, for those who you love, go over there and get that information. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. And so the FDIC says that banking, overall banking in the United States, has unrealized losses that are totaling $622 billion. That was in 2022. The White House tweets out, the economy is moving in the right direction under President Biden. Wait a minute. They're not necessarily lying there, folks. In the right direction? What is the right direction? Well, according to the Commusocialist Party that's running the White House and the radical left movement in this party, the right direction is towards chaos and towards a devaluing of our dollar and to crumble the banking system. That's the right direction. So they are moving in that direction. And so to them, this is the right direction. In their minds, they're doing exactly what they've intended to do, cause more chaos and crash the banking system. Moody's Financial said that they are cutting their outlook on U.S. banking from stable to negative. Negative. They're citing a rapidly deteriorating operating environment within the banking system in the United States. I'm telling you, folks, gold and silver, RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. I'll be right back after this break. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
I want to tell you about the good people over at EMP Shield, electromagnetic pulse. Electromagnetic pulse, ladies and gentlemen. It can fry your home electrical system or your vehicle's electrical system. But if you attach one of these, now this is for your breaker box at home. There's a smaller version that goes on your battery of your car, your vehicle, that will prevent it from being fried in the event of an electromagnetic pulse. Because as you know, thanks to Administrator Biden, many people coming across the border now who don't exactly have the best of intentions. Protect yourself. EMPshield.com. Get huge discounts over there if you use the promo code Doug. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, The Right Side. Hey, I want to say a word about Patriot cigars. These babies are good. The weather beginning to change here in this neck of the woods and where you are too, I'm sure. Spring is upon us. It's awfully nice to sit on the deck or the patio with one of these, an adult beverage, and enjoy the fruit of your labor. Take in all that you've done, all that you've accomplished. PatriotCigar.com. Use promo code Doug over there for 15% off your entire purchase. PatriotCigar.com, ladies and gentlemen. I know you ladies enjoy these from time to time as well. Check it out. PatriotCigar.com, promo code Doug. Believe it, ladies and gentlemen, for the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Right Side with Doug Billings, where with every breath I take and every move I make with you, we're engaging to save this republic. It's we the people. We are the plan, my friends. We're doing what we can do. Head over to DougBillings.us. You can see every video that we've ever produced, every podcast, audio version, anything. You can see them all free of charge. DougBillings.us. We do ask that you voluntarily subscribe over there to help us cover the cost of production of this show. So the banking system, the Fed, printing more money. The FDIC has not nearly enough money to bail out just these two banks that have crashed. And Administrator Biden and his Commusocialist Party are telling us everything's fine. The banking system is just perfect. And it's moving in the right direction of chaos and of collapse, which is what they want, folks. Now, I'm not trying to panic you, I'm trying to say also to get involved with gold and silver, to do all of that. This is part of a systemic problem within the banking system and the Commusocialist Party in America. What we saw last week with Silicon Valley Bank is not a one-off situation. Yes, they had really crummy management, totally inept. But the government is doing this, the Commusocialist Party specifically. Take, for example, case in point. There's a socialist out there by the name, and I think I'm going to pronounce this correctly, Saleh Omarova. Saleh Omarova. She's a socialist. She was nominated by the Biden camp to be the comptroller of our currency. She doesn't serve in that capacity, but that's who they nominated. She said that the United States banks need to be revamped, that small banks need to go away, and that the Fed would be the loaner of all money, the grantor of all loans, gathering power in and of to itself, the federal government. Why? Why would she say that? Because the radical left Commusocialist Party wants to do away with our paper money and radically advance and implement the central bank digital currency, CBDC. Their end game is a federally controlled digital currency, and that would be the ultimate control your life moment for the radical left. Because if they implement that system of digital currency, just imagine, if you speak out against them, your currency is cut off. You're cut off from your money, folks. If I, as a Catholic, speak out against abortion and for the sanctity of all human life at every level, I'm labeled an extremist and I'm cut off from my digital currency. I'm not kidding. This has already happened to American patriots with the standard traditional flow of money and banking in America. Mike Lindell and General Michael Flynn both had their bank accounts shut down because their banks didn't like their politics and their political beliefs. If you disagree with them, they're going to cut you off. This is one reason of many why they want the digital currency. But there's more. Administrator Biden has created amendments to the United States Commercial Code that differentiate crypto and electric currency, electric money and crypto. Now, these definitions are now in place, and the guidelines are going to seek to clarify crypto assets lending specifically in the status of the CBDC market, because Administrator Biden is going to, he and his group, his Commusocialist Party, are going after cryptocurrency. So all of you, and I know there's a lot of you out there, I don't know much about cryptocurrency, admittedly, but there's a lot of you out there who do and who are into it. The radical left Commusocialist Party is coming after you. Bitcoin, all of that, because it's difficult to regulate. They can't regulate it easy, and so they want to get rid of it. I mentioned the Signature Bank earlier in the show. It was shut down after the Silicon Valley Bank. You know why? You want to know why? Because they had become the go-to bank for the crypto investors. The New York Times said it's a risky bet on crypto and a run on deposits. That's what tanked Signature Bank. Regulators said keeping open the 24-year-old institution, which held deposits from law firms and real estate companies, was also reported that the executives were shocked that it was being taken over by the feds. Really? They had no idea they were coming in to do this? Of course not. They're not going to tell that they want to shut down and take over banks because it's a crypto bank and they want to shut out crypto from the republic. So Silicon Valley Bank was not the first bank to collapse last week. Crypto-friendly lender Silvergate Bank collapsed first. And I'll bet you a nickel that you've never heard of this. Silvergate Bank crashing. Silvergate issued a statement, quote, "In light of recent industry and regulatory developments, Silvergate believes that an orderly wind down of bank operations and a voluntary liquidation of the bank is the best path forward. The bank's wind down and liquidation plan would include full repayment of all deposits." End quote. All right, folks. Here's what's going on here. The feds and the Treasury are trying to do to crypto what the EPA is trying to do to oil, to coal, and gas, to regulate them out of existence. In just 1 week, folks, in just 1 week, crypto lost both of its main banks. And no one's talking about it. And in the mix of all this, we have the Fed and Administrator Biden's Commusocialist Party purposefully raising inflation and rates. And what does it do? It ruins us. You have to realize that the Fed fights inflation by depressing the economy. This gets rid of rising prices because when we can't buy things, prices come down. Imagine that. That's what's going on. And all around the country, companies go out of business, and you see going out of business sales, Johnny. Hey, Johnny, we're going out of business because the Fed has raised rates again, and nobody can afford to buy anything. It's not accidental. It's fundamentally what they're doing. This is it's part of their purposeful chaos. The real way that we should be fighting inflation is to start supporting our dollar, to give it a stable value. And, we talk about gold and silver. We used to be on the gold standard, where our money, our paper money, was backed up by gold. I know President Nixon took us off of that. Wasn't happy about that, but that's the history. That's what happened. Gold and silver is the answer for you if you want to seriously protect your cash. We've got to begin to do this and look to those solutions. And I'm hopefully convincing more and more of you to do it. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. Ladies and gentlemen, another quick break. I'll be right back. Right after this, stay with me. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Doug Billings here on the set of my show, The Right Side. I am standing shoulder to shoulder with Mike Lindell and his employees over at MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Billings when you go over there to MyPillow.com. Everything that you need. You already know about the sheets, the pillows, obviously the pillows, the slippers, the best slippers in the world, ladies and gentlemen. They even have dog beds and pet beds over there. I've got 2 of them for my service dog, Jet. Absolutely, I do. MyPillow.com. Stand shoulder to shoulder with me and Mike Lindell as we support his employees as he endeavors to become one of the refounders, if you will, one of the refounding fathers of our republic. It's the least we can do. MyPillow.com, promo code Billings. Please, ladies and gentlemen, MyPillow.com, promo code Billings. Believe it, for the republic. Cheers. I want to tell you about the good people over at EMP Shield, electromagnetic pulse, ladies and gentlemen. It can fry your home electrical system or your vehicle's electrical system. But if you attach one of these, now this is for your breaker box at home. There's a smaller version that goes on your battery of your car, your vehicle. that will prevent it from being fried in the event of an electromagnetic pulse. Because as you know, thanks to Administrator Biden, many people coming across the border now who don't exactly have the best of intentions. Protect yourself. EMPshield.com. Get huge discounts over there if you use the promo code Doug.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Right Side with Doug Billings, where I've got to admit I take a lot of pleasure, a lot of joy in pointing out the intellectual immaturity of liberals everywhere. Doing that with your help today, folks, we have got to get a grip on the idea and the truth that it's our involvement that is going to save this republic. There's no other entity out there that's going to do it. Clearly, not the military, not President Trump, not any elected official, but we, the people, by virtue of our involvement. It really is that fundamental. So many people out there looking for justice in the courts, or, why doesn't Biden and the Clintons, why aren't they prosecuted like Trump is? Why aren't we going after them? All of this takes time, and it is because of the fact that we as conservatives have not been involved as much as we should have been over the last 125 years. Take a look at the history that we've laid out on this program, the history of commusocialism in America, the Quiet Revolution, both of those topics, the history of commusocialism in America. Head over to DougBillings.us and look up these programs. You can also find them at thebillingsreport.com. Lots of news, lots of articles, lots of things of interest, all of our videos. But DougBillings.us, head over there and check it out. History of commusocialism in America, for one. The other series that you should check out is the Quiet Revolution. That's what the left did to seize power. Look around us, folks. They didn't have the military come and grant them access into power. There was no executive order signed that gave them access to the White House. But yet there's people on our side out there spewing forth ideas. At least they were. All of these things have now obviously been proven to be fictitious, to be putting it nicely. We should not be looking to the courts. We should not be looking to anything else but us and our involvement. But Doug, is it really that simple? If you're telling me I've got to get involved in the local level, is it really going to end the tyranny and the radical left movement in this country? The short answer is yes, it will, my friends, because that's what they've done. The Quiet Revolution was their involvement. That's what the left did. They got involved. Yes, school boards, city councils, aldermen, committee men and women, election observers, poll watchers, all of that. Your county board of commissioners, mayors, sheriffs, state senate, state Congress, they got involved. School boards, prime example. And they took over our education system. They took over our media, our corporate America, our health care. Now, we conservatives did a lot of great things. I've said this before, but we were not thoroughly involved, and therefore, and thereby, here we are. And likewise, we're not going to have the military swoop in and reinstate President Trump. We're not going to have executive orders that were written by Trump usher President Trump back. It's not going to happen. It's our involvement. Our involvement is the way forward. And again, and I've said this before, but just by way of one example, school boards, because conservatives got involved in the last couple of years. In 2022, 14 states had people like you, ladies and gentlemen, good America First patriots who ran for and won seats on school boards. And they fired woke school superintendents. And as a result of that, 14 states last year outlawed critical race theory in their school curriculums. And now they'll be able to say no to mandated masks and jabs and all sorts of things should the left once again try to implement those crazy things. So yes, it's our involvement, and it's going to take time. Look, the other side has been doing it since 1897. Really, I'm not just drawing that number out of the hat. Really, watch my series, History of Commusocialism in America, and you'll learn all about this. So again, and in the banking system, purposeful chaos. The real way that we should be fighting inflation is start to support our dollar. Look back to the gold standard. We were on it, and there was never inflation. Inflation was never a problem when we were on the gold standard. Gold and silver is your answer to protect your money. I've said enough about it. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. Head over there and get information. I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's information. You can learn how to diversify your money, but it's information. No pressure. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. But I wanted to alert you today to all of this because nobody else is talking about it. And I wanted you to hear the framework about how the Fed works and what it means when they inject the money into the system and how they do it and why they do it. Because that's the foundation as to the reasons behind these bank failures. And please, again, for your family and for everybody who you love, RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. We have got to begin to grapple with the fact that they are purposefully trying to do away with cash. And they want the digital currency. They want it. And they're continually trying to do it. This thing with Trump, whether or not he's indicted, I don't know. I would like to think that it won't happen because at the end of the day, you would think that intellectual maturity would prevail among the radical left, but that's always a wide open bet. You never can count on intellectual maturity amongst that group. It's always political savagery that they're after. But it's a distraction to get us away from the bank. The banking crisis is going to continue, and they're going to continue to drive down that path of purposeful chaos. Trump, the shiny thing, the shiny object, look, bright thing, shiny thing, toy, look, take your eye off the banks and look over here at Trump, which isn't going to turn out, even if they do arrest him, it's going nowhere. It's a distraction. There is no crime and there's no law against giving money to somebody to shut up. In fact, it's the other way around. That side, the porn star, was trying to extort President Trump. And that's already been laid out in previous court battles. So this is a distraction. We take a deep breath. We can certainly will gather together today and tomorrow and pray for President Trump and his family. We will meet, as we always do, on the right side in determined prayer for the president. And I do believe what Elon Musk said is true, that if they do this nonsense, if they go through with it, they will embolden American people, even those who might not have otherwise voted for President Trump. And those people, John and Jane Doe on the streets of America, will have their eyes opened, because every time, as I said at the beginning of the program, every time the radical left engages in this kind of kookery, they wake people up to their kookery and to their tyranny and to their chaos. And more people as a result go, not what I had in mind, not going to do this, certainly not going to vote for these people anymore. So therein lies our hope, that they will continue to go down this path of chaos, more people begin to wake up, and that in 2024, we show up, we the people, at the local level, and vote them out. We vote them out. And don't get cynical. Don't let the demon of cynicism roost upon you. Well, I'm not going to vote, Doug, but it's rigged. We don't stand a chance. We don't, unless we show up in massive numbers. We will work our way through it. Again, we the people, involvement, get involved as poll watchers, election observers, and stay there. Show up a day or two before the polls open to make sure that everything is functioning properly. You know, one of the mistakes in Arizona was they showed up on election day, our side. Hey, the machines aren't working. What? Huh. That's not all to blame on faulty machines. That's also part of a problem called lack of preparedness. We need to be prepared and on site to make sure everything is running as it should, and that there are no nefarious characters out there dropping off ballot boxes or shutting the building down because of a toilet leak or whatever. That's involvement. Change in America very rarely happens overnight or very quickly. And in most cases, that's a good thing, because we want to vet out everything about justice and seeking it and so forth. And we will. So those of you concerned about why isn't anything happening? Why aren't the Clintons arrested? Why are the left? Why are no members of the Commusocialist Party ever persecuted? Or they're doing it. Speaker McCarthy, Jim Jordan, Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, and the rest of the true American conservative movement are moving forward, and they're looking into this. They're looking into the district attorney in New York. He's corrupt. He lets prisoners out of jail who have murdered people to create more chaos, because if they're on the streets, there's more chaos. He's done things like that, and now he's doing this, and his time will come. Give yourself the virtue and the wisdom of patience to see your way through it, because we will reach the end of this tunnel. We will together reclaim our republic from the radical Commusocialist left. We will, and it will be because of us, our involvement. That's the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves permission to believe this. That's where hope resides, with you, with us, with we the people. God himself said it when he inspired the founders to write our founding documents, we the people. God knows it, we know it. The founding documents contain it. Believe it, ladies and gentlemen, for the Republic. God bless you. Head over to DougBillings.us. Subscribe to the program, please. We need you. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
I want to tell you about the good people over at EMP Shield, electromagnetic pulse. Electromagnetic pulse, ladies and gentlemen. It can fry your home electrical system or your vehicle's electrical system. But if you attach one of these, now this is for your breaker box at home. There's a smaller version that goes on your battery of your car, your vehicle, that will prevent it from being fried in the event of an electromagnetic pulse. Because as you know, thanks to Administrator Biden, many people coming across the border now who don't exactly have the best of intentions. Protect yourself. EMPshield.com. Get huge discounts over there if you use the promo code Doug. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, The Right Side. Hey, I want to say a word about Patriot cigars. These babies are good. The weather beginning to change here in this neck of the woods, and where you are too, I'm sure. Spring is upon us. It's awfully nice to sit on the deck or the patio with one of these, an adult beverage, and enjoy the fruit of your labor. Take in all that you've done, all that you've accomplished. PatriotCigar.com. Use promo code Doug over there for 15% off your entire purchase. PatriotCigar.com, ladies and gentlemen. I know you ladies enjoy these from time to time as well. Check it out, PatriotCigar.com, promo code Doug. Believe it, ladies and gentlemen, for the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. You know, every once in a while, I like to have Bob Reed on the program to talk about how to diversify, how to build up God's money on earth, gold and silver, and tell you and help you. After all, we've got to have each other's backs out there about how to do this. And folks, look, this is what we all need to be doing. I think there's a common misconception out there that you have to be rich, you have to be wealthy to do this, to be able to roll over, to diversify, to manage your money with gold and silver. It's not true. You don't need, anybody can do this. And Bob Reed is on the program again today. He's a friend of the program. Bob, welcome back.
Hey, welcome. Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it. Good being back with you and all your patriots out there defending the rights of our country and our nation and our Constitution. And that's what we've got to do. We got to stick together as patriots. And
Amen.
what we're doing here with gold and silver, and what you learn yourself, is, you know, patriots need to help each other. Now, I've been in gold and silver, as you know, over 35 years. I'm 76 years young, so I've been in the stock market since 1971. Chemical engineer, MBA. You know, I did what they taught me to do: save 20, 25%, stick it away. I'm going to have a great retirement. And that's a bunch of lies. I'm going to just be truthful. That's a bunch of lies. Okay. Who controls 401ks? Who control IRAs? The dead governments and the woke companies. That's who controls them. And so, you know, if I would have depended on that, I wouldn't have the lifestyle I have today. Let me tell you why. Let's just get some good examples. And what we are doing now in this 22nd century is teaching people what they haven't been taught. And that's what this program does. And, you know, information is free if you're willing to learn. So in light of the news of recent and what's coming, everybody should want to be able to secure their wealth. So they need to learn about gold and silver. Why? Okay. I always give the example of the silver 1 ounce coin and the $1 bill. I graduated from high school in 64. In 1965, when I was working on that chemical engineering degree at LSU, this $1 piece of paper and this what they call silver dollar, 1 ounce silver coin, it bought a gallon of milk, either one of them. And now they teach us to save this stuff in some type of form, annuities, 401ks, stocks, bonds, whatever, savings accounts. Well, that's what we are taught. They teach us nothing about God's money, gold and silver, which is limited in the world. And you don't have to be wealthy. That's the whole point. You can start a little bit of time. And that's what this program does. It teaches people. So I've retired. I've worked that 60-year plan. I've saved. Okay. I still need milk, right? Okay. I go to the store in 2019 with $1 bill. What can I buy in milk? A half a pint. You know, that little milk carton that you get that you get in first grade.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, in grammar school. But
That's it.
1 ounce silver eagle, we don't really call it $1 anymore. It's a 1 ounce of pure silver. It's called a silver eagle. Okay. What will that buy in milk? Almost in 2019, 5.19 gallons. So which one should you have saved a little bit of? Sure. You need diversify, but they teach you nothing about this part. They just tell you, oh, you can't afford that. You don't want that. That's not a good investment. That's what they tell us. Wrong. Well, look, from 2019 to right now, Doug, let's illustrate why you don't want to have a lot of this and you want some of this.
Right on. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's really that simple. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. Free information. You can get what you need over there. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. Head over there. It's on our website as well. Bob, thank you. We need to know this.
Just in a few years, Doug, look, you can't even buy a creamer on average with this dollar bill today, but you can almost buy 8 gallons of milk with this. So that's what we want to teach people. They need to get information. So where can they go, Doug?
Right again, Bob. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business, ladies and gentlemen. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. It's going to be on the bottom of the screen throughout this short conversation. That's it, Bob. That's where they need to go. That information's free. And again, to your point, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to be wealthy. You just need to start doing this incrementally as you can.
That's
Bob,
right.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for helping patriots throughout the country get a grip on what's going on and helping to secure their wealth.
Thank you, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Right Side with Doug Billings. Please, again, RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. Head over there today. Get the free information and follow through. We are in this together.
Don't always need to just talk about silver. We need to talk about gold too, because gold's that precious metal that, you know, the streets of gold. They're going to be lying there in the kingdom. Okay. But no, it's God's money. Well, let's give another illustration and, you know, why they need to be part of your program, a part of our program, Patriots program that we've started here in the last 6 years. And it's just exploding and people need to be part of it from the Right Side team. Now, you know, they're going to get answers to the question, why should I buy? Who should I trust? How much money does it take to start? And do I need to be an expert to win? And the answer to that is no. That's the whole point. It's for the average person. Now, let's look at gold. In the last just a little more than 20 years, in 2001, the average home, you could buy a home in America for $169,000. Well, it took 626 ounces of gold, equivalent to buy that same house. But let's just fast forward a few years. And in 2021, that home now costs an average of $347,000. But see, less gold will buy 3 of them, Doug. 3 of them.
Yeah.
It only takes 579 ounces of gold. So we have a way in our program that people can buy. They don't have to buy an ounce. They can buy it incrementally. They get a wallet. It's kind of like a digital bank account, but it's stored free for them. They need to find out about this.
Right on, ladies and gentlemen, and you can get information about all of this, the things that Bob is talking about. All you need to do is go to RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. RightSide.GoldAndSilver.Business. It'll be up on the screen. We talk about it on the show. It's on my website. We're in this together, my friends, and we're trying to help. In this day and age, we've got to have each other's backs. For the Republic, ladies and gentlemen, believe it. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.